It's time to talk, to speak our minds. Just me and you, that's what we do. Deep Valley Voices.
From KLNK in Deep Valley, Texas, it's coffee time. I'm Carl Tilford, and we're getting to be nothing but controversial here. I'm not afraid, are you? Now, remember when we broke that story about training monkeys to give vaccine shots? Well, Lana Bandy's Axers were all up in arms about that. Well, today we're going to get into something called gene editing. I expect the same sort of response. Now, gene editing is the ability to edit human genes, designer babies, who could all grow up to look like Lady Gaga or Frank Zappa or who knows. It's all about biodiversity. That's it. Ooh, we're going to put our 500 watts to good use today. Well, today's show is brought to you by our friends at Cosgrove's Family Mortuary in Deep Valley. Ask about prearranged theme services like the Final Roundup, featuring an authentic wagon wheel casket, and they tell me about fantasy football is another one with the look-alike Dallas Cowboy cheerleader pallbearers. Cosgrove's Family Mortuary in Deep Valley. You only die once. Now, before we get into today's topic, let me welcome our new listeners on the podcast side of things today. You hear they say radio is dying. I don't believe that. None of us here at KLNK do. But why not hedge our bets? So we're simulcasting on this podcast medium, and we were running at the same time on the radio and then live on the Facebook. And we're expecting big things. So if you have a friend who is one of those podcast listeners, tell them about our program. I've been taught that, that good radio is local radio, for the community and about the community. And we're going to bring local guests on to cover some of these hot topics of the day. Today's guest, ladies and gentlemen, Edith Stonefield, Associate Dean of Biology Department at our own Deep Valley Community College. And Edith has a master's degree in science, Edith.
Well, I don't know much about the genetic editing, but I did read an interesting article in Time magazine that pretty well summed it up.
Well, I'm sure with your background in science, that'll help make sense of all this. So let's get right to it. Question. Okay, here's kind of a bottom line question for you, Edith. Let's say that my wife and I are starting a family. And so could I get my genes edited so that my kids aren't as stupid as I am?
Well, most current gene editing therapies I'm reading are in the clinical trial phases. And they're aimed at treating genetic disorders under professional supervision. So I'm thinking that self-experimentation could lead to some unforeseen complications.
You mean like your 2 left feet?
Well, that might be the least of it. There's a fear that gene editing could lead to a future where parents select, desirable traits, such as intelligence, physical appearance, athletic ability for their children, which could lead to what you might say inequality in our society and a loss of genetic diversity.
So what's the problem? I mean, every kid in that world would get A's and they'd be great at sports. What's wrong with that?
But not every parent will be able to afford gene editing.
So instead of spending all that money on college that people do, get a loan for some gene editing, and your kid could get a nice fat contract with a Major League Baseball team and pay it back.
Well, it might be technically conceivable, self-gene editing, but it's far from safe or practical or advisable at this point, Carl.
Edith, let me say that history is littered with small thinkers like you.
You know, Carl, I'm really sorry that gene editing wasn't available for your parents.
Edith Stonefield, Associate Dean of Biology Department at our own Deep Valley Community College. Edith has a master's degree in science. And that's all the time we have for today. If you have a friend who you think could learn something from our radio show or podcast, please tell them about it. And let me get a quick plug in for our own Deep Valley, Texas community here. Home to a wonderful Main Street that includes a gelatin shop, 2 restaurants, a wine and ice cream tasting bar, and a boutique clothing store, and a Hasty Lou, a family-friendly hotel, the Lone Stair Lodge, just up the street. It's always ready to be your Deep Valley happy host. And thank you, if you're still with us, thank you for listening to Techie.
Deep Valley Voices.
Hi, this is Carl Tilford again. We'd love to hear from you. We know you have ideas. Maybe you're just mad about something. Well, give us a call. Send us an email. Or be sure to click on that subscribe button on your screen. That's supposed to be important to us somehow.